Hello viewers, this is Apurva Singh. I hope you are doing good at home. Today in this video, I'll be discussing about Act 1 Scene 2. This is the continuation video. I hope you have gone through my first video wherein I gave the introduction and what conversation did Portia had with her attendant Narcissus. Now I'll be continuing here with the thought of Portia, that what she thinks about all the suitors who have come so far to woo her. Narcissus, we'll find Narcissus who is going to speak the names of all these suitors who have come on the way to woo her, and Portia is going to tell Narcissus that what is her opinion for all the suitors who have come to woo her so far. So let us continue. So the first one is, Narcissus says, I am continuing from line number 45. Here Narcissus, first, there is the Napoleon prince. So the prince who has come from Naples. She's talking about that prince here. Portia, yea, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horses. So Portia says that he is no less than a fool. Why? Because he has nothing else to talk about except for his horses, and he makes it a great appropriation to his own good part that he can shoe him himself. And she says that he talks about and he counts about the only good point, or the greatest good point in him, is that he can shoe the horse, his horse himself. So that is only the plus point which he keeps on talking about, and he always talks about his horses. That is why she denotes him as a fool. Narcissus. Then is the county palatine, Portia. He doth nothing but frown, as who should say, and you will not have me choose. So here Portia, she says that this man, he only frowns, and he frowns in such a way that his frowning says that if you aren't counting me as a husband, if you aren't choosing me as a husband, then you can go and choose any man in the world. He hears merry tales and smilest not. So even if he is hearing some happy tales, he does not smiles. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. So Portia, she's afraid that he is going to prove to be a weeping philosopher in future because of his unsocialistic behavior, because he is not that, he is an antisocial man. Because of it, she says that he would be a weeping philosopher in his near future. I had rather be married to a dead's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these two. So Portia here, she says that she would get married to a skull with a bone in its mouth rather than getting married to any of these two suitors who have come. Narcissus. How say you by the French Lord Monsieur le Bon? So Monsieur le Bon means the sir the good. So what Portia has to say for him? Portia says, God made him and therefore let him pass for a man. So she says that because God has made him a man, so I consider him to be a man. Why? Because according to her, he did not have any characteristics which would bring him under, or which would categorize him to be a man. In thought, I know it is a sin to be a mocker. So Portia herself, she knows that it's a sin, that she is mocking at somebody, that is, she is making fun of somebody. But why he had the horse better than the Napoleon. So she says that this man, he came and he told me that he has got a better horse than what Napoleon owned. Better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. So he used to frown more worsely than what this Count Palatine used to frown. He is every man in no man. That means he has got no personality of his own. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering, he will fence with his own shadow. So what she says that he would fence with his own shadow, he would enjoy with his own shadow. Then if I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. So she says that as because he has no personality of his own, that means if I get married to a man like him, I would feel that I am getting married to 20 such men. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. So she says that if he would not show me love towards me, I would forgive him. For if he loves me to madness, I shall never requite him. That means if he would love her madly, she would never be able to give away the same kind of love which this man would have for Portia. Naressa. What say you then of Falconbridge, the young Baron of England? So now he is the fourth one about whom Naressa is asking to Portia. Portia, you know I say nothing to him, for he understands not me nor I him. So Portia says that you know that I did not say anything to him. Why? Because I do not understand his language and he does not understand my tongue. He hath neither Latin, French or Italian, so he knows none of these languages, that is Latin, French and Italian. And you will come into the court and swear that I have a poor penny worth in English, and you can swear in the court that I do not know anything about English. He is a proper man's picture, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? So Portia, she says that he is a proper man's caricature, a proper man's picture, but unfortunately, she cannot have him as a husband because she cannot talk to him in actions. How oddly he's suited. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round horse in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behavior everywhere. So Portia here, she says that even when he is the very picture of a handsome man, she means to say that she thinks that he has bought his doublet, that is his jacket, from Italy, his round horse from France, that is his breeches, and his bonnet in Germany, that is his hat. And his behavior everywhere, his manners are from all the other countries. That means his manners are not his own, it is being copied by some other culture, some other country. Naressa. What think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbor? So he's the fifth one, the Scottish lord, his neighbor. Portia. That he had a neighborly charity in him, for he borrowed a box. Box is what? Box here is, she is talking about a blow. So box of the ear of the Englishman, and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became his surety and sealed under the another. So here what she means to say, that she is saying here that he has got a box in charity and he has promised to pay it back, and she further says that guaranteed that he would repay the debt. Depth of what? Depth of the box on his ear. Reference is made to the constant assistance that the France gave the Scots in their quarrel with the English. So this is the political scenario of these two countries which Shakespeare has brought into picture here by these explanations. Signed his name underneath the Scotsman's signature on the bond as a guarantee for a friend. Pledged him that the Scottish lord would repay the Englishman the box on the ear. Now, Naressa. How like you, the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew? Portia. Very welly in the morning when he is sober. So she says that he is very bad in the morning when he is sober. That means he is not intoxicated. And most welly in the afternoon when he is drunk. And he is now more worse than what he is in the morning in the afternoon when he is intoxicated. When he is best, he is a little worse than a man. So when he is at his best, he is little worse than a man. And when he is worse, he is little better than a beast. So, and when he acts to be bad, he is little better than a beast. Beast is animal. And the worst fall that ever fell, I hope I shall make shift to go without him. So she says, and the worst would be that I would shift my choice if he chooses the right casket, and I would deny to get married to him. Narissa. If he should offer to choose the right casket, you know, refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him. So Narissa says that, do you know that if you refuse to get married to him, that means like if he chooses the right casket and then you refuse to get married to him, that means you are refusing the will of your dead father. Narissa is asking Portia. Portia, therefore, for the fear of worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket. So she is requesting Narissa to place the fine wine on the casket, the contrary casket. For if the devil be inside, that temptation without, and that wine is going to tempt, the devil inside is going to tempt him, and in that temptation he would choose the wrong casket. And I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Naressa, before I will be married to a sponge, that is married to a drunken. She says that I'll do anything to refuse this marriage. Naressa, you need not fear, lady, the having any of these lords. So Naressa is telling her that, my lady, please don't get afraid of marrying to any of these suitors. Why? Because they have acquainted me with their determination, with their decision. Acquainted, that is, Naressa knows about their decision. They have come to tell her, which is indeed to return to their homes and trouble you without no more suit, unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the casket. So she says that all of the suitors, they have decided to get back to their homes, and they are going to return back only when you will be won by any other means, rather than being won by choosing the right casket, which was the will of your father. Portia, if I live to be as old as Siblia, Siblia is considered to be the oldest woman in the Roman mythology. I will die as chaste as Diana. Diana is the moon goddess, the goddess of virginity, and she says that if she lives as long as Siblia, she would die as pure and as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. So unless she'll be obtained by her father's will, she is going to die as pure as Diana. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them I dote on his very absence. I pray God grant them a fair departure. So she says that there was none of the suitors who had come that after their departure I would miss them. So I wish them, I bid them farewell, and I wish them a good departure, a happy journey. Naressa, do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar, and a soldier? So all of these are used for Bassanio here. A soldier that came hither in company of Marquis of Montfort. Portia, yes, it was Bassanio, as I think so was he called. Naressa, true, madam, he of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon was the best deserving a fair lady. So Naressa says that, madam, I must tell you that this foolish eye could not stop upon any other man than Bassanio, whom I felt that deserves a fair lady like you. Portia, I remember him well. I remember him worthy of thy praise. Thy is here your praise. Enter a servant. How now, what news, servant? The four strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave, and there is a forerunner come from a fifth, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince's master will be here tonight. So he informs Portia the four suitors who had come so far, now they are seeking for their departure, and there is a fifth whose servant has come, and he is informing us about his master's arrival tonight. Portia, if I could bid the fifth welcome with so good heart as I can bid the other four farewell. So she says that I am very happy in bidding the four suitors their farewell, and I wish that I was this happy to welcome the fifth one who is about to come. I should be glad of his approach. If he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I had rather be should shrive me than wife me. So she says that if his nature is of a saint and his complexion, that is his appearance, is of a devil, he should forgive me than marry me. That means she is not going to like such a man. Come, Naressa, to attendant Sirrah go before, while we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door. So she says that once we bid farewell to one of the suitors, there is the other who comes on a door. And that's it with Act 1, Scene 2. I hope you liked the video and you understood the explanations. If you have any doubts, please bring your doubts in the comment section. If you like the video, please like, share and comment.